Hi everyone, it's Veronica and I am here to share my submission for Scrap the World's swap this month, the Super Twisted Note Card Swap. I think that's what it's called. We had to make a set of note cards for the crafters in our group, and we were in groups of 4, and you make 3 note cards for each person in your group. So I'm going to share with you what I used in my project. I cannot remember where I got these flowers from, but I used that. This Fisker's heart-shaped punch. I used the DIY shop, one of the sheets out of here. Yeah, here it is. Use that. And this was from Hobby Lobby. DCWV burlap paper. These flowers were from Michaels. Paper tray ink ribbon, and this is Lavender Moon. And all of the base papers for my cards are paper tray ink papers. I used the My Creative Time trio stitched banners, and I used the smallest one. Some fun foam that I had gotten from Joanne. I used the Spellbinders Decorative Labels 8. Hero Art stamp set, and I used the Sentiment Just a Note. And Tim Holtz honeycomb stencil. There were a couple of other things I used that I didn't pull out, but I'll just mention that as I go along. So these are my note cards. So I made 3 different cards for each set. And here's the first one. I used, this is where I used the Fisker's punch and this background paper. I'm thinking I didn't have that pad out, and I can't remember which paper pad it was. Sorry about that. Wild Orchid Crafts flower. The seam binding is Prairie Bird Boutique on Etsy. I used a doily back here. And the objective in this swap was to extend yourself and use 4 embellishments or 4 techniques or a combination on your cards. Now, to do that on a little 3x3 card was definitely a challenge for me, but I think they turned out pretty cute. I used buttons from my stash and also some embroidery floss. And this is the My Creative Time stitched banner, and I stamped Just a Note. And this is the inside. So that's card 1. The second one, I used some modeling paste with the stencil. Here's the ribbon, the paper tray ink ribbon, and I just kind of pleated that up. The Michaels flowers, I added bling, and I used wooden butterflies. So I was trying to go for different textures on this one. The first one was just a lot of layering, which I don't do a lot of. And then here's the inside. This was, I didn't have this out, the Martha Stewart butterfly punch, deep edge punch. So that's the second one. And then the third one, I did some dry embossing, and I used a Cuttlebug embossing folder here. And here's that sheet that I used from the DIY shop paper pad. And what I did here was some whitewashing using gesso and a baby white. This is the Spellbinders die cut. And I did that with the paper tray ink paper. And then with the fun foam, I cut the same piece out and mounted it on the back, which made it easier to adhere to the paper. This was the flower. I used a pearl bling and ribbon buckle slider. And this is the inside. Now, I only added a sentiment to one of the cards because I wanted the ladies in the group to be able to use the card for any occasion. And we also had to make the envelopes. So because they're a little chunky, you couldn't use a regular envelope. So I have 2 different boxes that they'll be receiving. This tutorial was the one that Tamika had done. She did it with an inch gusset. I tried it with 1/2 inch, which was a great fit, but it was still a little snug. So I went with the inch on this one. And you can either add a piece of Velcro or just tuck the flap inside. So this box, ladies, will be for this one and this one. This card had to have a different box because in my infinite wisdom, which I did not realize I was doing this extension at the top and the bottom would not allow it to fit correctly in this box. So this was another tutorial I had found, and that's what this box will look like. And of course, they're coming unassembled so that you can put them together, and it helps us with the shipping. So that's the 2 boxes that you'll be using. And this is the packaging. This is how they're coming. And the ladies in my group are Anna, Serenity Creations, Michelle Randolph, and April, made by April Ann. So what I did here was just use doilies and Prima flowers. The cards are in an individual bag, and then that bag is put down in the other bag, and there's some goodies in here for you. And everyone's name is on the back side. And Anna, I know how you love yellow, so that's yours. This one is Michelle's. And this one is April's. And Miss Tamika, yours was the one that I showed in the video. So here's your topper right here. Okay. Thank you everyone for watching. I'd love to hear your comments, and give these cards a try. It was quite interesting trying to get a whole lot of stuff on a little 3x3, but it worked out beautifully. Happy crafting, everyone.